Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Franchise Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. It is August 5th of 2024, 6:39 in the p.m. There was a song back in the day by the OJs titled Money, 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 Money. Remember that? That was the cut back in the day. Told a story about some people got to have it. Yeah, some people really need it. You know how the story goes. Do things good with it. Yeah. Well, overnight, in relation to what took place, that is the Rumblings Friday, the national and international currency began to unravel. A lot of folks got up and wiped the sleep from their eyes and like, hey, what's really going on? Some folks blamed it on the weather. Can you believe that? Saying all these catastrophes, all these different earthquakes and storms and things we've been having over the last 90 days is affecting the economy. Some folks are saying, you know what? It was the unemployment. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the unemployment that did it. You saw the numbers; they went up. Then some folks said, well, you know what? That interest rate thing. You know what, man? The interest rate. People, I'm gonna give you my take. As many of you all know, I study economics as a hobby. I don't claim to be an expert like anything. I just got my opinion. So I'm gonna present to you guys a few videos, and then we just gonna go from there. Okay? Let's do that.
Actually now is after a global sell-off, European and Asian markets plummeting around the world, and we've been looking at futures and they were more than 1,000 points down. Rahel Solomon, we are so lucky to have you here, but you bring us bad news.
Yes, I bring bad news today, at least so far. We'll see how the markets open and we'll get that pulled up just as soon as
Let's pull up the big board so we can see where things are right now, actually, because it's ugly.
There it is.
So we're still off, yeah, about 1,000 points for the Dow. So this is a continuation, and we'll see how the S&P and the tech-heavy NASDAQ are opening. I imagine probably not good, but this is a continuation from Friday, right? It's the new week, same old concerns that plagued the session on Friday. So on the one hand, you have that jobs report that came out, obviously weaker than expected, and you have some who say it's one jobs report, it's one data point. That does not necessarily make a trend. On the other, and this is where the market appears to be, there is a growing feeling that the weakening that we have already seen in the labor market is intensifying. But
is it intensifying? Man, I tell you, I didn't even bother looking at my portfolio. I didn't bother with it. I really never do. Ain't much in there no way. So, you know, ain't nothing for you to even look at. A few years ago, I paid off all my bills and I concentrate on my son. I don't have nothing. So whatever it go up or down, it don't even bother me. I cashed out. I don't know how many of y'all did it, but it was like after 2008 and that housing quote unquote crisis that we had, that fake thing that they did with the derivatives. I'm like, I'm done. And I had even bought a little silver. I got friends who bought gold, all that. But after 08, I had to change of heart. I'm like, you know what? Revelation 13:3 says, won't no man be able to buy or sell without the mark. So I'm just gonna take my whatever I got and start living. And I just paid off all the bills and just didn't buy nothing. That's all I did. Put in the comments, say, what did you do? It took the 08 crisis for me to say, you know what? I'm done with America. Forget about saving. Because whatever I buy on gold and silver is not going to be enough to get me through a crisis. That's the way I feel about it. If I'm wrong, I just die. It is what it is. If I was younger, I'd probably have a different concept, a different motivation. but I really don't care. Because the way I interpret that scripture, Revelation 13:3, when the Antichrist said you won't be able to buy or sell without the mark, you think gold or silver gonna make any difference in that kingdom? Look, think about it. Do you think when the scripture says you cannot buy or sell without the mark, do you think gold or silver is gonna make any difference in the Antichrist reign? Because that's where we headed. They're playing peekaboo with the economy. I've gone through this before, the history of America and the Federal Reserve. So in brief, this was their way to corral us for the future. I'm gonna say it again. By us having a Federal Reserve, by there also being world banks and economic institutions around the world, that was their way to corral us for the future. What future? Nothing. Zero. You will own nothing, but you gonna be happy. They just told us that, WEF, right? It's true. The plan was to fatten this thing up for themselves. Then once they got this thing to a point, they're gonna pull the rug from up out of us. And they know no matter what you got, if they have the law, if they're running anything, they deem what's valuable and what's not. I don't think anything's gonna be valuable. Nothing. Oh, I forgot. There is AI. Look, people, I'm just keeping it real. You do what you want to do with your gold and silver. But when this mark of the beast hit, I don't think it's going to make a hill of beans. I mean, how long will if their crash come before the mark of the beast come? It might. I don't know. I just figured I would just stock some food up. That's all I can do. Stock up some food. So here we go. Now, the first video I showed you that's what folks woke up to. Well, this is how the Dow ended today. And that's August 5th. Isn't that funny? It all happened on Barack Obama's birthday. Aha! Coincidence?
A massive shock. Closing bell brought in the biggest daily percentage loss in about 2 years. I'm Chris Lawrence with Jason Wheeler. You see his Right on the Money reports every week on WFAA. There's really no better person to put this in context, given all of your insight on saving and investing. And you gotta figure some folks are obviously a little concerned.
I'm right there with him.
Yeah.
I was a lot concerned as I was watching those numbers. It felt so good when that final bell rang today and it had to end, at least for another day. Chris, right from the opening bell this morning, stocks were just plummeting. The Dow started the day off by more than 1,000 points today, ended up the same way. We've been keeping our eye on the major companies suffering here in our area too. Businesses like AT&T, ExxonMobil, Dell Technologies, DR Horton, all in the red, although ExxonMobil is a Texas company, not necessarily DFW, but all of them going through it today, just like, the broader market. This was a huge sell-off. This is just a continuation of what began on...
Now, yeah, that began on Friday. Why do you think they're selling off? Let me tell y'all something. Most Fortune 500 companies, even Fortune 1000 companies, they know the projections that the common man and woman don't. And they ain't trying to take no loss. Y'all remember when 2019 hit back in the day? I did research and I did videos on that. We had, I think it was 1,300 CEOs left their job during 2019. That's a fact. Before tragedy hits, they sell off and they get out. Do you understand what I just said to you? Let me show you what I'm talking about. 2019, 1,300 CEOs resigned. Remember this here? This is 2019. And this says 1,640 CEOs left their posts in 2019. The highest year on record since Challenger, since they've been tracking. You know what happened in 2019, right? They got their golden parachutes and got out before the you know what went down. Do you think we're back in repeat mode? Look, I'm just asking. I'm the amateur, but I watch trends. They know the wall is cracking. I said they know the wall is cracking. Some folks call it a correction. I'm not going to split hairs on the definition. I believe it's peekabooing and it's gradually diving. It's just gradually diving, okay? The same, look, this is what I want you guys to understand. The same stock market that they've been propping up, been propping up, because ever since the Federal Reserve came into fruition in 1913, America has operated from a debt-based economy. So the same stock market they done built up since the 1900s, the same Federal Reserve, the same lending institutions internationally, the same World Banks, the same global agreements that were set up to sustain and strengthen and allow to be, stable. Look at it like it's a house. The house got windows. We kept that in order. It's got a first floor. We kept that from sinking into the basement. We got a second floor. We kept that together. We got a roof. We kept that intact. No leaks. We had a basement. And we don't allow no cracks in the pavement. Everything was set up. All the apparatus, all the infrastructure that's been set up since we have been managing, put that in quotes, our economy. People, we are seeing a design collapse. It's gradual. And those in the know are pulling out gradually. And they're buying the gold, they're buying the silver, they're buying the land, they're buying the forests, they're buying countries. Foreign countries are coming over here buying our assets, their bridges, go down the road, the farms. You know what I'm talking about? That's what's going on. And every now and then you get what happened over the weekend. A little slight hiccup. That's what's going on in my mind. Next video.
Unemployment, the Federal Reserve is very concerned about this, has been ticking up. So is that 4.1%? Historically, that's very low, but it's been climbing. So look at how the rate of unemployment has been rising for the past 12 months. And the July...
See how it went up? See how it went up? Just went up. And all Biden been telling you since he been up in there is that unemployment is down. Like that's the only indicator of a healthy economy. Go sit down, man. Go sit down somewhere.
The rate of unemployment has been rising for the past 12 months. And the...
Did you hear that? It's been rising over the last 12 months. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know. Because why would you vote for them? But if we allow tensions in the Middle East and a possible war, you'll keep the Democrats in office because most Americans do not vote out the incumbent. Do you see the game? I digress.
July jobs report was released this morning, August 2nd. U.S. hiring has slowed down sharply. 114,000 jobs added. That's a big drop from 206,000 added back in June. And the unemployment rate has now increased to 4.3%. So this is the highest unemployment rate in almost 3 years. So believe it or not, you could read the report for yourself. The government is blaming the poor results on the weather. So they're saying that the slowdown in job creation might be reflective of the effects of Hurricane Beryl that made landfall in Texas on July 8th. So ultimately, that's a...
Whether it is in part that, look, people, you know what they cause, okay? Put it together. Now, check this out. The ASEAN group consists of 10 countries, and the BRICS Alliance is now an 11-member group. In conclusion, a total of 21 countries have officially agreed to ditch the US dollar for global trade in 2023. Do you understand what I just read to you? This is September 7th, 2023. Many major decisions take anywhere between 8 months to 2 years to ripple through the economy. I told you, everything that was built up to keep the house stable is being allowed to disintegrate. They're not going to tell you because it wants to collapse like the Phoenician bird, die off, so they can remold not only national but international to take us into a national world order. BRICS, 2 new countries agreed to ditch dollar. That's May 2024. You feel me? The one before that I brought you was what? From 2023. 21 countries ditched the dollar. Now, 2 more have ditched the dollar. China and Russia and India are the top 3 nations looking to push their local currencies ahead of the US dollar. Do you see what's happening? This is what makes WAR. It's deep, y'all. I could be all day talking about this. It's crazy. Now look at this. 24 countries ditch US dollar. What is next? Some countries are already reducing US Treasury holdings, favoring alternative assets and trade agreements. 11A shift away from dollars could undermine the US ability to fund its deficits, leading to higher interest rates and a devaluation of the dollar. July 17, 2024. That's what you need to know. Again, everything that was set up, the infrastructure, the glue, the nails, everything, even the hammer to knock the nail back in when it come loose, everything is being taken away. So the whole thing can implode, collapse, whatever you want to call it. In economic terms, to fund the deficit, leading to higher interest rates and a devaluation of the dollar. They know that's how they know how it was built, so they know how to collapse it. Now do you understand more and more? When I said to you guys, what, last 4 to 6 months, America wasn't built for you? It was built, the whole system was, people, if this statement right here don't make you understand, nothing will. Could undermine the U.S. ability to fund deficits, leading to higher interest rates and a devaluation of the dollar. Everything that was structurally set up to make America great again, however you want to coin it, the banana is slipping. Think about the timing of it. The Antichrist is here. World chaos. All this. All these different bridges and barges. Food crisis. Farms being bought. They're not growing food in some places. Look, you name it. They're killing the economy. They're killing off the infrastructure. Do you see it now? Again, it wasn't built for you. It was built to build up whatever they wanted to build up. The banks, the military, the business, the political, all that. Then once they get a stronghold on the internet and build that up where it's nationwide, worldwide, and they got everything under one accord, and boom. Everybody's working along with the dark forces and the fallen angels. Then they just let it collapse. Here we go, brother, again.
I are on the same page here. I believe that we have a debt crisis in the United States of America. I believe that the root cause is overspending by the federal government. We have the Federal Reserve printing money, tons of money, and causing excessive amounts of inflation. I believe that the dollar is being devalued, and this is all going to end very badly with a dollar collapse and debt implosion. So is that going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen next year? I would say most likely not. But it's going to happen, and I believe that it'll happen sooner than most people think. You can make the argument that we're on track for that to happen next decade. Okay, maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Maybe you agree with the outcome and you disagree with the timeline. I would say fair enough, okay?
We all got our special analysts. This guy's from Chicago. Clear Value Tax. You guys know I listen to several analysts all the time. We're already there. We're already, in my humble opinion, in fact, we've been past there. We just hit what, 2 weeks ago, with $35 trillion in debt. They've already got it to a point where Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, he can't even look up and look you in the eye and talk economics no more. He knows he's doing a ballerina type, tightrope move with the Federal Reserve. Can you imagine the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell on a tightrope? You want to see him? Let me see here. Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve. Here he is. Can you imagine him in his little tights on a ballerina and he on a tightrope? That's where they got this man. That's where they got him. And if you notice, majority of the time you see him, he got on that purple tie. Start watching lately. Allegedly speaking without speaking. Color, ain't nothing wrong with the colors in the world. It's just that the powers talk through their colors, okay? So you can wear any color you want. But can you imagine Jerome Powell on a tightrope trying to balance? Imagine no more. That's where they got him. That's why every now and then they have another economic analyst come out and talk. It's the same way with Joe Biden. Every time you turn around, they got somebody else at the press conference. You can only take so much of this heat. You know, now you got Trump out there doing the crypto thing. Look, they're gasping for straws to keep the thing afloat. They know it didn't went too far, but they're waiting for the right time. So to me, it's around the corner. They got the war going on. They got bad economies everywhere. They got social upheaval. Come on, Jesus. That's all I can tell you, baby. Like I said, I don't claim to be a top dog in this field, but I've been watching how they play with it. They've been tinkering with this economy, and they're letting it unravel gradually right before us. That's all I'm saying to you. Now let me go down here. Say this to you. I presented this video a couple of weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I presented this. What did Trump mean about world economy? Funny, I had no idea that it was going to let it bust loose this weekend. But 2 weeks ago, I presented this. This is the guy from iPet Goat 2. He's weary, he's sick, in part because of the economy, because you're going to see it in his eyes. Watch this. Show you this here. A reason that I brought up the money is because of what happened yesterday. Right? We know what happened yesterday. We know that this company, CrowdStrike, literally stopped the world. And I've already informed you, when you take his birthday and subtract it from yesterday's event, you get 216. That was the CEO. August 4th, Barack Obama's birthday. Is that coincidence? So I took the CEO of CrowdStrike and did a numerology on it, a gematria. I did the CEO's numbers, came up with 216. Watch. Let me run slower. I want to tell y'all what I did. Here we go. Stop the world. And I've already informed you, when you take his birthday and subtract it from yesterday's CrowdStrike literally stop the world. And I've already informed you when you... This guy right here, the CEO, stop the world. And I've already informed you. This guy right here, the CEO, I took his birthday and subtracted it from a date and it came out with 216. Watch this. When you take his birthday, that's his name, George Klutz, right? He was all over the news a couple weeks ago. Birthday, and subtracted from yesterday's event, you get subtracted from that date. It came out with 2 months, 1 week, and 6 days. The 216th day of the year is August 4th. Barack Obama was born August 4th. Could he be the one crashing the economy? That's the question. That was the question. Go back and check out the video. All right, here we go. 216, which is August 4th, Barack Obama's birthday. Is that coincidence? This is iPad Goat 2. This character is laying down on the ground. This character is sick, and there was a snake next to him. Okay? Like I said, this thing's gonna be spinning around, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna
using the photos and videos from your phone.
Let it play out, and I'm gonna show you actual still pictures. This individual is all through, well, starts around the actual 3 mark. Look in the eyes. That's the word plunge, I'll show you. Covered, the eyes. It's sickly. Like I said, this thing's gonna mess up, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But I'm gonna show you what I have. See that? Plunge, dollars, US plunge. This is inside iPad Goat 2 in the eyes. See, it says dollars, plunge, and the top it says war. I thought about that yesterday in relation to what happened yesterday. So let me show you the photographs that I have. Could they be telling us something? So look at this here. Plunge and war. The markets are plunging. Are they forecasting things to us? Dollars, US. Markets. SUP, markets. NASDAQ. This is going through the eyes of this sick individual on the ground. Plunge. War. There he is sick, laying next to a snake. Statue of Liberty. That's what it has after that. America being affected. At the same time, while it's showing this sick individual and all these economic sign indicators are in his eyes, then it shows the Statue of Liberty, America. Then in iPad Goat 3, this appears to be a Donald Trump fighting China. Now, a few people emailed me and said, Pearson, this definitely could be Russia as well. Okay, so it could be, but the point is that we're in a battle over the money in the future. Look at that, and you see the background, war. All this is an iPad Goat. And that was an iPad Goat 3. With all this red in the background. Okay, look at that. And then also in the movie, you had the picture of the World Bank. And this guy cuts off the head of the bull, symbolic of killing the economy. iPad Goat 3. Then they got a black character in there, and dollars are all over the ground. And also in iPad Goat 2, Barack Obama sweats a V, of which I'll show you. Now I'm going to tie all this together, okay? Look at what Donald Trump said 6 months ago. Trump says he hopes the stock market crashes under Biden. What a thing to say, right? I understand you're running against him, but you don't want that to happen just to get in office, do you? So let's listen to this.
Fragile, and the only reason it's running now is it's running off the fumes of what we did. We have an economy that's incredible. We have an economy that's so fragile, and the only reason it's running now is it's running off the fumes of what we did, what the Trump administration. It's just running off the fumes. And when there's a crash, I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months, because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover.
Can you believe that? That's insane. Look, I know it's hard to believe that he said it, so I want to play it again. Listen.
And
I'm gonna end it right there. You're welcome to check out the full length of the video. I think I made my points. This whole thing is crafted. It's not a Republican problem. It's not a Democratic problem. This is an American problem. They both have brought this thing to that point. Congress holds the purse. The presidents write the executive orders. They all are complicit in debt. I did show how under his administration, he spent $8 trillion to add to the debt. Yes, a portion of it was because of COVID. I get it. But he did it in 4 years, he spent $8 trillion. Obama spent $8 trillion, and Joe Biden has spent $5 trillion. So they're collectively are more than half of our total debt, which is $35 trillion. Make that make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's an urgency to kill this economy. An urgency. I said the word urgency. That explains why this character is laying down here sick, because that's where they want us to be at. I'm Friendship Pearson. Stock up some food, make a few good friends. Like I said, I don't own no gold, no silver. I paid off all my bills in 2008. I'm check to check. I ain't got no problem with it. I go by faith, and I'm gonna make it work. Because the bottom line is, if you got the money to save and buy some things, real estate, God bless you, some gold, but most of us don't. So just get the basics and pack, if you know what I'm trying to say. But look, these are the last days. We all gotta endure until the end, until Jesus comes. He is our only hope, because as I've shown you here, this is all planned. They could have been made it better, but they playing like they're running out of screws, jackknives, hammers, ideas. They're letting the whole thing collapse on purpose. See through the speeches. It's all a game, it's all a show. Thank God for his promise. He said, where I be, I go to prepare a place for you, not made by hand. I'm running with Jesus. Somebody shout hallelujah.